A homeless man in New York, unknowing of when his next meal is. A Syrian refugee in an overcrowded raft, holding onto a singular glimpse of hope. A child from Southeast Asia who knows nothing but the assembly line. A retired judge, wrought by guilt, and a student in an antique, negligent education system who has their passions and dreams crushed by curriculum and census examination. What do all these people have in common? Do they live in the same area? No. Do they lie in the same age group? No. Do they speak the same language? No. No. And yes, they speak a language unspeakable, only to be expressed through the eyes and with the body. They speak the language of the shadows. The language of the shadows is not one studied through linguistics, but rather through psychology and sociology. I see this happening all the time, we all do. Subtle hints under the surface, telling you something about a person. I have merely named this the language of the shadows, because it is a bond formed between people within the same overshadowed group. This shadow can be created by a wall of seemingly infinite height. This wall can be a blatant injustice in society or in government, a psychological barrier such as with the loss of a loved one, or something much less dramatic, simply like someone having a hard time at school. Whatever it is, those who live within the shadow have a common bond of exactly that, living under the shadow. This bond is expressed not with a written or spoken word, but rather through a gesture or a look. And sometimes, when the recognizable remains unrecognized, it is expressed in chaotic, synchronized movements of massive proportion, such as in revolutions. However, today I will attempt to look at different, less obvious shadows and the languages spoken between them. Accordingly, I will share two personal experiences of mine, them being skateboarding in Egypt and what I view as the linguistic embodiment of the language of the shadows. So I skateboard. When you hear that, it strikes your ears as normal, commonplace even, a hobby, like any other. But when I say that I skate in Egypt, it holds a further connotation. Because skateboarding in Egypt isn't like how it is in the US or Europe. It's much less common, recognized, or endorsed. Not to say it's considered bad, it's just not considered at all. If I said the word skateboard to the majority of the population, they'd go, "What's that?" And this is not unexplainable, as skateboarding is largely an American thing. However, it is exactly that ambiguity of this art/sport which creates a shadow upon those who practice it, making us unseen in our community. Now, for me back home in Egypt, when I see someone with a board in their hand or hear the unmistakable music of a skateboard painting the ground with its fluid charm, I automatically know who that person is. I don't know their name, their age, what they do for a living, or any significant details about their life, but I know them. I know something pushed them to skate, this passion-driven blaze of desire inside. All I need to know is, oh, that person is a skater. I get it. There's this sense of recognition, because recognition is simply not the superficial concept of obligatory interaction between human beings, but rather it is a gesture, no matter how minuscule or grand, saying, yeah, I know you. You're the same as me. And this gesture has infinitely good effects on the person recognized. It lets them know they're not alone in the world. And sometimes that's just what a person needs to hear. For me, the language of the shadows is a kickflip, tree flip, ollie, shove it, heel flip, or even just trying something. Because to try something consistently hard means there's that desire and passion we, as skaters, can empathize with. This belonging is what keeps us going at times. When the going gets rough, when we're kicked out of spots by security, or when we're trying something literally 100 times, and not getting it, getting infinitely closer every time, just feeling it within you. You have it. It's there. Just a few more. Knowing that someone gets what it takes to pull that off, that someone somewhere near or far away relates. That thought makes a person try it again and again and again and again till it's there, and then we taste the sweet hue of success, no matter how trivial the trick may be, as you can see behind me right now. This is the language of the shadows for me. Mutual, intrinsic understanding rooted in common feelings of empathy and togetherness and a sharing of suffering. It may seem like some fancy or sophisticated concept, but really it's just something we see every day and have always observed throughout society and history, merely conceptualized in a way which allows for abstract comparative analysis of everyday actions and feelings. Now, in Egypt, skateboarding and new things in general are not really recognized within society. Yet, paradoxically, the values and traditions rooted within the population are fading away with the new generations. It seems there's this polarizing misunderstanding between young and old and rich and poor, to the point where society is stuck in this confused state of evolution and devolution, not knowing where to go and how to get there. Because of the very different views people hold, depending on the demographic in which they lie in. What this entails is the emergence of a unique, but quite often tensioned society. And what this means is, for the new generations, a lot of traditions and old practices are neglected, which is completely natural, but often extremely counterproductive, such as in the case of a negligence of language. Our language, Arabic, has been twisted, turned, invaded, and cut down so severely to the point where every nation, every country, and every region has a different dialect, a different Arabic, sometimes barely resembling the formal Arabic universally recognized, which we know as Fusha, or modern standard Arabic. Yes, obviously dialects and accents are natural, but the original language should not fade away. Tell me, will Arabic become just another version of Latin? It has become for us nothing more than a way to understand the person next to us, just a tool for rational agents in society to conduct interactions amongst themselves. No longer is it a source of pride, coming from a wealthy culture of science and literature, and no longer is it appreciated in its original form. The problem is not that society is changing, rather it is that people are forgetting Arabic as an original means of expression. At school, I had to learn all these very complicated grammatical rules and memorize the names of some poets who I would just later forget. But it wasn't properly ingrained in me as my language, gifted to me. Rather, the language of some book and some curriculum I just had to learn and get it over with. And this lack of emphasis on formal Arabic as a powerful instrument of society means it is thrown into the shadows, and the wall, quite ironically, being its own speakers. Yes, the overcasting shadow was created by the people it is cast upon, by favoring niche dialects and foreign languages and neglecting modern standard Arabic. Now, to see people here in Menton, in the university, interested and wanting to learn our beautiful neglected language, it just melts my heart. Yet it makes me extremely sad in knowing that native Arabs are not learning Arabic, yet others are. How is that justifiable? in any way. Thus, a shadow is created due to this awkward state of affiliation and disaffiliation, and everyone who speaks Arabic is within that shadow. And because the thing they have in common is language, now the language of the shadows, that is this incommunicable connection between people, that language is given voice. It's given words. Now the way of relating to someone is through hearing or speaking the Arabic language, because it is no longer the norm within Arabic-speaking countries. People who attempt to speak or strengthen their formal Arabic are very rare to come by. If you are one of those people and you come across someone like that, you just instantly relate. It's a connection understood and an effort appreciated. When I read something from someone like that or listen to them speak, I feel recognized within the shadow because someone else speaks the language of this shadow. And that is how this spoken language fits into the abstract idea of relation by empathy, which I termed the language of the shadows. And it becomes one of dual nature, one of words, and another of gestures. And because people within the shadow can relate so much from communicating its language, I will carry out the next part of my speech in Arabic, the language of my shadow. أظن أن أحسن طريقة لبدء التعبير عن هذه الفكرة هي عبر شيء كان في الماضي مصدر عزة اللغة العربية، ألا وهو الشعر. كانت يوما توجد لغة تمثل كل شأن عظيم، يتكلمها الفصيح باهرا ببلاغة الشعر القديم، يرتلها الداعي خاشعا تنبع من داخله الصميم، ينشدها الشاعر فخورا بكلمات المحب الحميم، ثم دخل عليها المحتل وشوهت بفعل الغريم، فأصبحت لعبة للدارس وجردت كلمة الحكيم، دفعت إلى الظلمة لتكون لغة كلغة الظل للنديم. فيا عربية هل تسمعينني أناديك من الظل الذميم. كما فهمتم على مدار الخطاب، الظل فكرة تنبع من وجود حائط مخيل، والراكدون داخل الظل يفهم بعضهم بعضا بدون داع للتكلم عبر الحركة والنظرة. لكن الآن هذه اللغة البلا أحرف أصبحت لها كلمة وصوت. اللغة العربية دفعت إلى الظلال لتصبح لغة معبرة عمن داخل ظلها، لتصبح هي لغة الظل. وما معنى هذا؟ ما أهمية دخولها هذا الظل المصور؟ نحن كمتكلمي اللغة فقط نتكلمها، نعبر عن فكرنا وشعورنا بكلماتها حتى إن ضاعت معظم الكلمات أو شوهت. هل هذا صحيح؟ لا، بل هذا خطأ جسيم جدا. نحن متكلمو اللغة، نحن الذين نرفعها أو نوقعها، نحن الذين بجمالها نرسم لوحة كلمات ونعزف سيمفونية جمل. بنا تصبح اللغة محضرا للعلم أو للجهل، وبنا أيضا تصبح طائرة تحلق بالإنس لنجوم المعرفة وكواكب الفهم، وبنا أيضا تنكسر الطائرة وتندثر أنوار الإلهام وتنتصر أصوات الألم وتنحصر قلوب الشجعان إلى ركن مظلم لا يرى ضوء الأمل. نحن شعب العربية، نحن العرب، وبناء على ذلك فنحن بثقافتنا ومجتمعاتنا، بعلمنا وأدبنا، بديننا وأرواحنا، نحن نعلو أو نهبط بشأنها، لأنها نحن ونحن هي. أنا لست هنا فقط لقول بعض الكلام المزين وانتهى الموضوع والكل يرجع إلى بيته بدون استفادة. لا، هذه ليست غايتي. ما أريده هو رجوع كل شخص إلى بيتي والتفكير: نعم، أنا لست وحدي، أنا جزء من شيء أكبر. أنا أتكلم اللغة العربية، ولأنني أتكلم العربية فأنا لي ناسا ليسوا في دولة واحدة وليسوا في منطقة واحدة وليس لهم شكلا معينا، بل هم متبعثرون في كل أنحاء الكون، مركزون أي نعم من عمان إلى المغرب، لكن هم في كل مكان، لأن الظل الذي ظلل لم يظلل على بقعة من الكون بل على أناس متفرقة. فالظل في كل مكان فوق كل إنس لغته العربية، ولهذا لا أحد وحده تحت الظل، ولا أحد قادرا على طرد ظله بدون رفع ظل الآخرين معه. نحن لسنا وحدنا في المعاناة من تشريد وتهبيط لغتنا، ونحن أيضا لسنا وحدنا في المحاربة ضد الظل ومن سمح بقدومه. أنفسنا لا تفكر العكس. نحن نحارب أنفسنا والآخرين أحيانا لأسباب مهمة وأحيانا لأسباب في منتهى الخبث، فنحن الآن متوحدون في تفرقاتنا. فأناديكم يا من نعموا الضاد بألسنتهم: لا تيأسوا ولا تحزنوا، أنتم لستم وحدكم تحت الظل، والظل أصبح له كلمة بإمكاننا أن نفهم بعضنا بها على مستوى أعمق من مجرد الحوار. بمجرد القول مرحبا أو السلام عليكم. فالسلام عليكم يا أهل الظل، كيف حالكم اليوم؟ The language of the shadows is a way of putting on paper the small gestures and notions we go through all the time, which are compounded to form our daily interactions with other people, with ourselves, and with the universe. It is a way of conceptualizing what makes us human and recognizing this for others. So now when you find yourself in a position of empathy, connection, or belonging, you'll know you speak the language. You'll know someone in the shadows understands you, whether it's through a gesture or when the language of the shadows takes a linguistic embodiment. So now, when you find yourself in a situation seemingly all alone, isolated by some wall or obstacle of infinite height, just know you're not truly alone. Because we, as individual human beings, are not solitary in our struggles. Because this shadow is cast on others, and you speak the same language. A language of gestures, a language of connections, a language of the eyes, and a language of the shadows.